It was a horrendous experience waking up in the morning and realising that wasn't a dream.
And obviously you're a singer-songwriter, and I think personally you've got one of the best voices I've ever heard.
Somebody just heckled us, and to be fair, he'd heckled us quite a few times during the night. I jumped off the stage and belted him.
Do you think you've got a problem with drink?
I've just had loads of punches to the face for stuff I've said to people, man.
Chasing Status actually got in touch, but for whatever reason you didn't do it.
It's just typical Lloyd. The opportunity was there, could have took it, didn't take it. So, I mean, how PG are we? Just
say whatever you want, mate.
I was riding home and come flying off and smashed into a bollard and lost my front teeth, my jaw, broke my nose, my leg, I split my lip all the way through there. Like this was something I thought we were going to talk about.
Do you ever regret out like that?
Coulda, woulda, shoulda, innit?
I mean, I didn't want to put you on the spot at all, mate, but can you play something? So today we are joined by acoustic singer, songwriter, Lloyd the Voice Joyce. How are you doing?
I'm very good, thank you, mate. Very good.
Mate, it's been years since I've known you. I think it's been, definitely over 10 years.
Long time.
And obviously you're a singer-songwriter, and I think personally you've got one of the best voices I've ever heard.
Thank you very much.
And I mean that, mate. I know you're a Sunderland lad, and I know you, and you're my mate, but at the same time, I've worked with a lot of musicians over the years. There's not many people that can just pick up a guitar and sing like what you can. You don't really see it.
Yeah. No, thank you very much, mate. I mean, I remember years ago when you wanted to work with us before, I was quite quite privileged that you wanted to work with us. Obviously, I knew them, but I know it's quite nice to hear, to be honest. I've put a big graft in, but it's paying off a little bit.
How old are you now?
33, 34 and a bit.
So you'll only been like 22 or something when I think you played Drops of Jupiter.
Aye.
Back then on the old Lads Ad TV on YouTube, but I remember we came around to some house wherever you were at the time.
So I'm good mate shorties, wasn't it?
Was that where it was?
Aye.
Up in the barns?
Yeah, no, it was at Red House.
Oh, aye, that one. Aye, because we did that last right time. We did Chasing Status. We did a few different bits and bobs.
And party house.
It absolutely blew us away, mate.
Cheers, man. That was good, like.
But I want to know, first and foremost, mate, I mean, do you think you've improved since?
Oh, 100%, but it's purely because I've had loads of spare time to get loads of practice in. And obviously I've done quite a few gigs since then, so it's all practice makes perfect. So, I mean, I've done easily 1,000 gigs in my lifetime. Easily, so I reckon that's given us enough practice and enough alone just to be like I am. I've much improved since. When was it? 9 years ago we did them videos.
9 years.
Much improved since then. But also, like I say, travelling about a bit, which I know we'll talk about. It's just enriched my performance in general and my songwriting just from all the experience. I think I'm 10 times better than I was. I'm just constantly improving, I think.
I want to talk about your upbringing, mate, because obviously I know you're from a council estate, aren't you?
I was born in the first property we lived in was in Town and Farm. Then we moved to Springwell. It was all right, to be honest. I mean, I had a drama like pretty much anybody. You know what I mean? Like there was loads of drama. A bit of a piss-aid stepfather. It was. I mean, to be fair, my brothers won't mind us saying he was an absolute arsehole. But kind of conditioned us really. I mean, so basically, yeah. I mean, we didn't want for anything. You know what I mean? We taught us the right ethics in like working hard and working for anything you want. But there were some bits that obviously would have been better if it didn't happen. So obviously we're not going too deep into, but saying a few things that I'd rather not have seen. I'm sure my brothers would agree. But I'd say it's kind of like there's nothing like, I mean, obviously there's lots I would have changed, but there's nothing where I thought that's like kind of ruined my life. You know what I mean? It's kind of, if anything, made us a bit stronger, a bit better.
If you could pick one thing from your childhood that you would have changed, what would it be?
I wish I'd learned music or took an interest in music sooner than when I did, because I mean I didn't pick up a guitar till maybe 17, 18. I was sang a little bit before then, but if I'd done it sooner, I think the level I'd be at now, I think I'd be a lot wealthier than I am now, to be fair, I think. For
the viewers and listeners, there was a time when you, like I say, when you played, I think it was a Chasing Status song for me, and when we filmed that video, and Chasing Status actually got in touch.
Aye.
And they said that they wanted you to get in touch with them, but for whatever reason, you didn't do it.
It's just typical Lloyd, you know what I mean? It was like the opportunity was there, could have took it, didn't take it. I chose the kitchen parties over Chasing Status.
Because I remember I can't remember the track, mate, that they end up bringing out, but they had, I want to say, I think it was Tom Grennan, but they had someone who had a similar type of sound.
Yeah.
I know you're obviously original, everyone's original, but it was the vocal that they used on the track, and I think it definitely charted. That definitely could have been you.
Could have, would have, should have.
Do you ever regret out like that?
If I regretted everything like that, like every missed opportunity, I probably wouldn't be sat here now. Like, I'd probably be miles away somewhere, you know, sat in a hole by myself, feeling sorry for myself. But I mean, I do in a way. There's loads of things I regretted. I mean, when I was a kid, I'm sure I got offered another opportunity with a record contract, just to go and make a demo, send it in, and I just never bothered to make a demo. And it was just one of them where I just never took it seriously enough. Which, in hindsight, I wish I did. I wish I took it a bit more seriously, especially from a really younger age, mate. But sadly, I didn't. But here we are now, grafting away, 33, nearly 34.
Do you think it was a confidence thing?
No, I think the main thing, the early days, not the confidence. Because, I mean, I'm sure anyone from Sunderland would agree. If you did music in school, you were classed as like a sweaty, you know what I mean? Or a goth, shall we say. But, so no, I never really bothered us when I was in school. And then it was like sixth form time. I was doing a singing competition. Got into it then. So I was like 17, like I say. Like I say, our mate Kurt Carruthers, shout out to Kurt. Me and him were doing a few songs for this talent show. And we were just practicing around his one night. And I went, show us one of them chords. And mate, I think he showed us an A minor. And I went home. So I just went home to my mother. I was like, I need a guitar, like, so next thing you know, I've got a guitar and just haven't stopped since, really. It's been a whirlwind.
It's mad, mate, because I used to practice guitar. I had guitar lessons and that quite a bit when I was younger. And I've always envied, like, I haven't got any skills, mate, when it comes to instruments and all that type of stuff. And when I look at someone like you, like, just being able to express yourself with a guitar is just mad. But the couple of that with the singing, that's a skill in itself, and being able to sing and play.
It took us about... For the first 6 months, I was just getting the basics, getting the chords and that, and I thought I'd try and put it together with some singing. It just didn't happen, mate. Like, say, 6 months in, just trying, and it's just out of time. And even now, there's still some songs where you've really got to have your wits about you because the beat's so different to the song. But it was so difficult at the time to get that nearly packed in. I was like, I can't do this. Like, probably pretty much like you did as well when you give it a bit of a go and thought, nah, I can't do it. I was like, can't do this. And then... I don't know how, I can't remember what the turning point was, but I just persevered through it. I think it was probably when my stepdad kept saying I sounded shite because I was tuning in and that, and obviously I was probably like Phoebe or Friends, you know, smelly cat. And he just kept shouting through, saying, turn it down, you sound shite and that. And I just thought, you know, this, mate, fuck you.
How did you feel, you know, when someone's telling you, like, it's because it's a massive, just, you know, it's a self-belief. It's going to knock your self-belief, your confidence. Is that something that bothered you, or was it like, I know I'm good?
Well, at the time I wasn't good. At the time I was crap. But at the same time I was like, I'm just starting. Like, I'm sure everybody sounded like this, you know what I mean? Sure, like George Harrison sounded like that when he first picked up a guitar. But no, I just cracked on and got on with it. But now it's like, I mean, there was a time in my life where basically I did take things very personally. There was a gig I did at this place in town, and I was playing a song that I'd written, and somebody just heckled us, and to be fair, he'd heckled us quite a few times during the night. So I just jumped off the stage and belted him, like, that was it. It was a few years ago, but it was hilarious, to be honest, at the time. I just wasn't, like, but now, you could say whatever you want. Like, whatever you wanted to, is at the end of the day, I'm getting paid to play for you while you're spending money on drinks, you know what I mean? So that's how I look at it now. But I was a bit of a loose cannon before then. But it's one of those, isn't it? He deserved it.
See, that's what were you know, like when you're going through school and all that, did you have, because I know playing an instrument or playing the guitar, something like that, you need to have some kind of consistency. Like, you've got to be able to just keep going, even when you're shite, even when you kind of play the guitar. Were you like that in other things? Like, were you sticking to school? Were you know what I mean?
No, mate, no. So, basically, I was always very, like, last minute. My mind would flutter from one thing to the next, so I'd stick with someone for like 3 months, 4 months, maybe 5 if I really enjoyed it. But then after that, just no interest, I'd do something else. And to an extent, I'm like that now. That's probably the most consistent thing I've done, to be honest, in my entire life. So everything else, so mate, there was a bit nothing consistent, like, to be honest.
What was it about the guitar that made you stick at it though?
Well, even that, in the early days, I see there was times where I fell out of it 6 months, 7 months at a time. I just wouldn't pick one up. It didn't bother us. But then I got to a level where I was getting like paid to perform regularly, and it's like, why would I bother putting it down for a while when I'm costing myself this much money? So, I mean, like I say, there was a time even when I was actively performing, I found maybe I was drinking too much at the time. I was doing like 4 gigs a week and drinking at every one of them gigs, and I was like, I've got to knock the gigs on the head for a bit, just so I can give my body a rest. And I did, so I packed it in again for another 3 months. But now it's been maybe 7, 8 years where I've just been actively just doing it all the time with myself, with a couple of bands. And it's been good, like, it's been a whirlwind. Like,
I think as well, like since them days when I'd filmed you, the thing is, mate, when you're watching someone like yourself, you can be any type of personality. You can be a bit closed off. But as soon as you pick up an instrument, people just, like, it's mad. It literally, mate, when I filmed that video, I remember I actually felt emotional. I actually felt like hairs on the back of my neck. Like, it's mad. And for people listening or watching, a lot of people don't understand that. But what music can do for you, I think, it's just massive for anybody. And I think if anyone can get into some kind of, it's something that I've always regretted I didn't follow through with. You alright, people? Hope you're enjoying the episode so far. Here's a random one for you. Most of you who are actually watching this episode don't actually subscribe to it, so just do us a favour, will you? Can you click the like button, hit the notification bell so you don't miss another episode, hit subscribe, all that good stuff, because we go up and down the country to try and bring you the best show possible. We're not messing around here, so please show some love, will you?
Do you know this with me, right? I'm not just saying this, like, it's not too late. 1 hour a day. Obviously, I know you're busy with all this stuff and that. 1 hour a day, though, is all you need. And do it. And just stick at it. And then even if you just get to a point where you're 40 years old and you can sit there and make a few tunes out for your family, you'll save yourself paying me to come, you know what I mean? So, be good. And, I mean, the piano as well, that was another thing I learned alongside the guitar. So I used to basically doll off at my musical theatre lessons. So I did like drama, dance and singing. And I used to doll off, I think it was drama, or it might have been dance, I can't remember, but it wasn't singing. And I used to doll off that one and sit in the piano room, and I taught myself piano in, God knows, before they kicked us out of college, until they kicked us, wasn't a full year, like. And then for a while I stuck at that, and I was better at one point on piano than guitar, but now, like I say, I've done that many gigs on the guitar, it's definitely my favourite instrument.
Do you think it was an escape for you?
Oh, aye, mate. Aye, and also, well, not so much an escape, but like a focus. So I see I've mentioned before, like I've inherited my mother's severe undiagnosed ADHD. So basically, you can ask anybody, like, she never shuts up on that. And honestly, she's gold, but she never shuts up, and neither do I, to be honest. And so when I play the guitar, it's like I haven't got a million thoughts running about my head. I've got to sit and think about what I'm doing next, or I just get lost away in it, or if I'm singing as well, I've got to think about the words that's coming. Or if I'm performing at a gig, I've got to think about everybody who's here, what songs they want to hear next. And it kind of reins us in a bit, kind of tones me ADHD down. So, and like I say, I'm not diagnosed, but if I haven't got it, I'll eat my shoes. Like,
I mean, I didn't want to put you on the spot at all, mate, but can you play something?
I'll do well, seeing as we mentioned it loads, we'll do Drops of Jupiter for you, mate.
Let's do it, mate. I cannot wait for this, mate. It's been, and again, for the listeners or viewers, it's been 10 years since I've witnessed this, so...
It looked like that was scripted there, because I took a drink just as you asked us as well, but it was a complete coincidence.
Let's
see how
go.
this is anyway. Oh, give it a little clunk there.
This has got to be a podcast first, like.
Aye, mate, I've never seen you do one before. Anyone singing on it. Turn this back round here for you. We'll just do a little bit though. Don't want to bore everybody with a full song. Now that she's back in the atmosphere, and drops and Jupiter in her hair. She acts like summer and walks like rain, reminds me that there's time to change. Since her return from a stay on the moon, she listens like spring, talks like June. Tell me, did you sail across the sun? Did you make it to the Milky Way to see the lights all fading? that heaven is already. Tell me, did you fall for a shooting star? The one without a permanent scar? And did you miss me while you were looking for yourself out there? That's a little bit of that.
That's mental how you can just whip them out, mate. I'm still blown away by it. Does it bore you? You know, when you're getting requests and stuff, because obviously you're gigging all that and you...
No, to be honest, it used to. I used to hate doing requests because I kind of liked not making a set list, but like I'd play a song and I'd know what song naturally would come next, either by looking at the crowd or just going off the song I'd previously played, and or using a bit of both. But then, more recent, I've got this app on my phone, and it kind of turns any song you want into like karaoke for guitarists. So, I'm sorry for anyone who thinks I'm just really gifted and that, and remember everything. I don't. But basically, as long as I've heard the song before, kind of discreetly, just at the side of my mic stand while I'm performing, just scrolls through like karaoke with the chords and the words. And like I say, as long as I've heard the song before, and it's nothing terrible. I'll not play anything where I think it's going to kill the night. It's going to kill everything off. So I've kind of like made requests me thing, to be honest, more recently.
How do you know how to work a crowd?
Quite simply, it's just, you can never judge what anybody likes. You know what I mean? I've had some strange requests from people who you didn't expect, like 80-year-olds requesting Metallica and things like that, which obviously I didn't unfortunately do. But no, basically, it's like, let's say you've got a crowd of people who you know, you can tell by looking at them, they were born and they were around in the 60s. Then, you're going to play some of the Beatles, you're going to play other songs from the 60s. Or then, like I say, if you've got people loads of Stone Island on, you're going to play loads of Jerry Cinnamon. I mean, it's pretty much just how it is. And it's one of those things, like I say, the amount of gigs I've done over the years has kind of like helped us read it better. Sometimes, I mean, I still get it wrong. And like I'll do a song and people say, what's going on here? What was that?
Are you a confident person naturally?
Not at all.
Because obviously I've seen you gigging, mate. I've been there, and it's like, obviously I know how you are with the crowd and stuff. You've got the charisma. People love you to bits. You're having a laugh with people. You just make people included, and I think again, I feel like you've got to have a bit of a charm. You've got that. I think you've got that likeable thing about you.
Guinness up, man.
Just Guinness.
Shaking like a shitting dog just before we started. Nah, mate, just... Actually, I do find if I have a couple of pints, it's a lot easier to kind of walk around and talk to the crowd. Mm-hmm. But obviously, normally a day, like I was quite anxious. Like, I don't know, like just anxiety in general of life. Mm-hmm. So, walking around, so what I've done recently, as I was saying earlier on, I've stopped drinking coffee before a certain time, and it's kind of helped ease the anxiety. Mm-hmm. Apart from like when I'm on a big stage like this. But no, I mean, that's helped in a way. But like I say, once you have a couple of pints, everyone's your friend, you know what I mean? Everyone's sound, but once you have a couple more pints, then you're calling people swear words and all over the mic.
Well, this is what I want to talk to you about, because obviously I know you're like, the way I look at you, mate, you're like a hustler. So you're always doing something for money, or you're always doing something different, or you're in another country, or you're busking at this night, or playing here, or just like proper relentless, right? And I see that, mate, and I know, like, if you had a business, you could do well. Like, you can just tell there's certain people who've got that dog in them, right? And you've got that thing. When you said there about, like, you know, like the crowds, like, you know, you'll try and gauge whether they like you or not, and, you know, after 60s you play the Beatles or whatever. What happens when a gun's wrong?
To be fair, mate, it's one of those. You've only one good song away from turning it around again. Mm. So, I mean, there has been the odd time where I've started playing a song and I realise it's not going down bad, but I'm getting no response whatsoever. And I'll just stop. I'm like, right, actually, I want to do this one instead. And nobody cares, because they didn't care that you were playing it, so they're not going to care that you stopped playing it. Mm-hmm. That's the way I look at it. But like I say, going back to what I said before, it's like, well, I'm getting paid, you're spending money, so if I mess it up, I don't care, because if you give us grief and you heckle us, that's absolutely fine. I'll just fix it with my next good song. You know what I mean?
I know you've had a bit of you've had a few scraps on the streets, haven't you? And had a few tear-ups and bits and bobs. Obviously, doing this, what you do, and you're having a few bevies, you're playing guitar, it can go wrong, you get cheeky people, and you know what I mean, saying certain things to you. Is that something you've always been like? Have you always been that way as well?
It's mainly me being the cheeky one I found over the years. Nah, well, half of you off, but it's because I'm obviously in the the main attraction at any like venue. If I'm performing, it's like, right, there's your singer for the evening, so it's all eyes on me. And obviously, so naturally, it's going to be a little bit more attention towards us, whether it's negative or positive. And then, let's say if I've had 4 pints, I'm not going to react as well as if I had 2 pints. You know what I mean? So I've had, like I see, over the years, a few scrapes and then a few, but a lot calmer now, a lot. Like
What's mad is, Lloyd, right? Like I've done talks to like a lot of people and done public speaking and shit like that, and I still didn't have the confidence to do it. Like deep down, like I'm terrified when I'm doing them things. I couldn't think of now worse than being the allocated singer for the evening, because you're literally from start to finish you're getting judged. But are you? Like how much does that put pressure on you?
Well, to be fair, it depends on like the calibre of, I know it really shouldn't, but let's say for example I'm doing a buskers night where I just want to show off a few songs that I've been practicing, I'm not getting paid for it, then in all honesty I'll just go and I'll just play, and I don't really feel anything. I'll just get up and play and I'll get off, and I don't care if anyone's enjoyed it. But then the nerves come in when you do care, which is like every other gig. So it's like, I really want to do well here, I really want to have a good night, I don't want anything to go wrong. And like I say, with my head being a little bit funnier than most of you musicians, it's like, is this going to break? Is this going to break? Is this working? Is this already broken? And then it's like, have I got enough strings for the evening? Have I got enough plectrums? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just any multitude of things can go wrong. Like, you can ask anybody who's took us to one of my gigs in the past. I'm either silent because I'm worrying, or I'm very vocal because I'm worrying and swearing, and like I said to my mother all the time, I don't know why I bother. Because the hour or 2 hours before a gig's just the worst time in my life.
The thing is, though, mate, people will know you as a solo artist now, if you like, but you haven't always been solo, have you?
No, so back in the day, I had the first one I think I went for was Plectrum Inc., which was a kind of rap, up-tempo. We had a beatboxer, we had a bass player, a rapper and myself, and we kind of just rapped about like just life's experiences and that, and we done quite well, to be honest. We done really well, but we had disagreements, we had differences of opinions, and just parted ways, to be honest. It was about 2-3 years we were making music, made some pretty decent tunes, to be honest. Sorry, pardon me. I was just with the percussionist yesterday, because I'm going to get him up to do some stuff at the weekend with us for one of my gigs, and he was only 16 when he joined the band. He's absolutely tremendous. So we're going to get him on. He's going to do a little cajon, the drum set thing while I'm performing. It's going to be great. So but like I say, the rest of the lads were just kind of disbanded, fell apart. I still see them if I see them. Well, obviously I had a big crack on that, but no, it just didn't work out, really.
Are you 33 now?
34 in May.
Because with the talent you've got, what's the reason you think you didn't get signed?
I was just entirely myself. Like, so, for one reason or another, I didn't ever have, like, just the real drive to go and do things I should have been doing. I mean, even up until, like, this point in my life, like, it's never made enough content, you know what I mean, never done enough videos, and like I say, it all just goes back to the anxiety and the lack of confidence, and that's just one of those things where it's not too late to fix it, you know. So I am 34 coming up, and by the end of the year I'll have done what I've wanted to achieve over the last 4 or 5 years with music. So I refuse to beat myself up about it. It's a case of what's done is done. I see a few things have kind of like hindered where I should have been, but it doesn't matter, to be honest. We're here now, so that's the way I'm looking at it.
It's a good attitude, and obviously doing this, mate, it's took you around the world and all, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, all over. I mean, the second band I was in, that's quite a smooth transition, that is. The second band I was in, we used to travel just up and down the country, and we're like a cover band where the lads were all seasoned professionals. We had our own studio, practiced once a week, regardless of what we had in the diary. And they were just, like I say, just tremendous musicians. Like, so we used to travel maybe, I think the furthest, in fact, I couldn't even tell you the furthest we travelled, but we used to do all the army messes, big weddings, charity functions and things like that. A few social club gigs as well. But no, so like I say, that took us like on the road for the first time with a band. like, albeit it was all in the country. But that was the first experience of being on the road, like, and there was some good times to be had with the lads.
Was any wild memories?
There was not so much wild as you would expect, because by the time I joined the lads, they'd already been and done all that stuff. You know what I mean? They were like married, lasses, kids, and that. So I mean, you'll not mind us saying this. The guitarist is still a cracker. Like, loved his whiskey and that. But no, like I say, it was just one of those where it was more about the gigs we were doing and the places we were going was kind of cool. Like, and there's been a few, like I say, there was one time we had to get all the way to Alnwick in second gear because the clutch went. And we got there and we were just absolutely stinking the clutch just to do this wedding. Then we had to get a recovery truck back. And I lost my most expensive suit jacket.
If you don't know by now, I run a business called The Content PT. I create content for influencers, PTs, online coaches and fitness brands all around the world. So if you are someone who's in need for sexy content for your social media, or you really want to maintain a competitive edge in your industry, drop me a DM on Instagram.
Does it, I know it's a mad question this, but being a musician, being a bit of a, it's kind of rock and roll in it. It's a bit grimy, a bit gritty, a bit grungy in it. Like, just on tour, doing bits and bobs, doing these gigs left, right and centre. You're trying to get in the studio, it's a bit minging, it's all damp, you're trying to record stuff, no one's got any money. I've been involved in the industry, so no. Does that come with, did you start getting female attention?
Aye. Like, this was something I thought we were going to talk about. But mate, that's the main reason, if I'm being honest, like, it's the main reason I got into it.
Was it?
To be honest, because like, so I was stood there. Well, to be fair, I'm a lad from Sunderland. That's what my main life's been dictated by. Like, it's what anybody's young adult life would be dictated by, unless like you just want to earn loads of money and that. But no, so when I went to the open day for Shiny Road College, it was like there was a queue for music and a queue for musical theatre. And I was seeing loads of lasses in the musical theatre queue. So that's how I ended up there, and that's how I ended up not doing music. That's how I ended up there. Doing musical theatre and having to learn myself piano and that. Just because I was just thinking with the old Julius.
How did you end up in Cyprus?
That's a good one, this, actually. So, it was 2023, it's only a couple of years ago. I was working in a call centre, and one of the lasses says, she used to work for an agency over there as a rep, and she says, why don't you have a look and see if they need any musicians? And someone just sparked in us. I was like, it's not a bad idea, that. So I went to see the telecommunications guy, because we were like selling telecoms and all that other stuff, energy and that. And I asked how much it was to ring Cyprus. And he says it was like 2 pence a minute or something like negligible. So I just went outside and rang him. And just rang this agency. This last answered. And he basically says, can you send us some videos over? And somehow I managed to have some videos on my phone, which, like I say, I've been that unorganised and had that little content. I don't know how, but I did. So I got her some sent over while on the phone, and she says, can you get the next flight across? And I says, right. So I had a look. Turns out I couldn't get the next one. It was like maybe 3 weeks or something after, but I got myself sorted and got myself across.
What was it, a one-way flight job?
Just get yourself there and see when I fancy coming back. But I went in like August time, and the season finished in October. So it was like the end of October. So it was like the first time wasn't as long as obviously the second time, which was the most recent this year. Last year, which was like a big old long trip. Like.
So did you walk out of work to do this?
Well, yeah. So I kind of walked out in a way. So I give them my notice, and I says like, look, I'm going to be going to Cyprus in. I thought, it was 2 weeks. That's what it was. I said, I'll be going to Cyprus in 2 weeks. And he basically just says, just clear your desk, Lloyd, and get yourself away. And just paid us until I left.
What's the reason though? Because obviously there, you've got a job and you're doing your music on the side and all that. You might a few quid. Surely you didn't go over there to make money, like.
No, it was just for a change. Like, something some people's always said, and a few different people have always said, like, you should be travelling the world. You should be going places with this, and whether they meant like going places or going places, I just took it as going places and getting on a plane to Cyprus. And like I say, it was a no-brainer for me, like, because obviously we're born and raised in the northeast of England, where it's constantly freezing, it's constantly chucking it down, and then you've got an opportunity to go in Cyprus for however many months and get paid for the pleasure. It was a no-brainer, like, quite an exciting change.
Was it a smooth process going over there and just doing it?
It was smooth enough, as in, so, like, the first time I went over, I was just on a training contract, so I just went over, just to kind of get, dip my toe in the water, see what it was like. So I went over and did my time on that. And the second time around, I was absolutely not a spot to bother me. Just go over there, play songs and get paid. Which, that's probably what I would say if it was that smooth. Like, obviously, there was a couple of incidents which kind of made sure I was meant to stay there for 3 months. I ended up staying for a little bit longer because I obviously had my accident, which was a catalyst for staying another 2 months, I think it was.
Because I want to get into that, because I know you ended up in hospital in Cyprus, didn't you?
Yeah. It was I was going to start my storytelling voice there. It was a humid night. No, so I was just a humid evening, and I was riding from a villa which I was renting at the time to work, because I was living above where I was performing when I first went to Cyprus, but then basically I had a disagreement with the owner, and I went to work in another pub and then work somewhere else. But basically the last place I ended up being, I think it was maybe 20 kilometres away from where I was living. Mm-hmm. So basically I had to hire a moped. So I got myself a moped, and so I was right. I wrote to work fine one day. Basically on this day I couldn't find my key for the scooter, so I wasn't going to take it, I was just going to get the bus. But for some reason I last minute found the key. And on that night I was riding home and come flying off and smashed into a bollard at about maybe 50, 60 miles an hour, and lost my front teeth, my jaw, broke my nose, my leg, and I just absolutely covered in scars, mate, to be honest. I split my lip all the way through there. It was a pretty torrid time, like, to be honest.
And at least you got to stay there. Well, I mean, was it a good thing staying there for that long?
It was. I mean, I prefer if I didn't, like, my leg was like a watermelon. I was hobbling about. And, like I say, I was, the first couple of weeks, obviously, until I got my teeth sorted, I was mooching about with two front teeth in. And basically, I'm not going to lie, the first 2 weeks was majorly depressing, from being like, what I would consider a handsome lad, you know what I mean? I would say I would consider myself fairly handsome anyway. And then one day you wake up and you've got no front teeth, and your nose is broke and your lips are all split, and you look like Daniel Westbrook with your little split nose. Well, mate, no, but on a serious note, it was a horrendous experience waking up in the morning and realising that wasn't a dream. I was like, shit, you fucked up here, Lloyd. I was probably one of the closest near-death experiences I've had. But like you say, mate, it kept us in Cyprus for a bit longer, so it wasn't the end of the world.
When you do music, Lloyd, are you just doing it for the enjoyment, or are you trying to get somewhere?
So I would like to get somewhere, but at the same time, if I could earn enough money, I've always said this, if I just earn enough money to live comfortably off basically just gigging, I'd happily gig maybe 5 times a week. I wouldn't be worried about drinking too many pints anymore, like I'm kind of too old for that. If I could gig, like I say, make a comfortable amount to live on, and like I say, just be happy and healthy, I'd rather do that than have all of the, what I would consider the ball ache of all the big shows and all the red carpets and all of that nonsense. I mean, what I would like to do though, which has been going through my mind quite a bit, is become like a songwriter, like a ghostwriter for people, just in the background. Mm-hmm. Like, you'll never see me face, just know that I've wrote that song, you know what I mean? And I think that's something that I wouldn't be too bad at, to be honest. So it's just something for the future. But I say in the meantime, it's one of those where I'm going to write. I've got a few that I've written myself. So I say I've been writing for years. So I've got loads that I've written myself, to be honest. Just all need a little polish up and then ready to release them.
Do you know any off the top of your head?
Yes.
Oh, well then, give us some.
Oh, well then.
Give us a little version of something.
I'll give you a tiny snippet of... basically, so none of my songs really, I don't think, are based on fact. So they're all, like, pretty much like Sam Fender says, because I spent a while thinking all his songs were based on, like, his stories and that, but turns out they're not at all. He just makes them up. Unless he's just saying that. But no, so basically all mine are like just made up. So, but because I've been through, like, obviously, like, everyone's had the fair share of traumatic experiences and bad romances and that. Mm-hmm. Sound like Lady Gaga or something. But no, so like I say, it's because I've been through like loads of things like that. And because I know people who's been through loads of things, it's a case of like I can easily transition this into a song and put it down, pen and paper, as if it's coming from my perspective, you know.
So is this loosely based on stuff you've been through?
Very loosely, yeah. Very, very loosely.
So not at all?
Nah, I'm just maybe a little bit more than I'd like to admit. That's what it is, mate.
Do you remember what you said on the last one when we filmed the video? You turned around and at the start you were like, "I'm Lloyd Joyce," and then you said, "Fuck bitches and drink milk." That's what you said. I was like, "Where the fuck's that come from?"
If I had that confidence now, would be taking over the world, mate. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have a calcium deficiency. So,
oh well then.
Right, so this one's called it's potentially called Try. And like I say, I'm going to be over the next over the summer. I'm hoping to get a few bits recorded. I keep accidentally looking at the camera, right? So what we'll do is we'll just cut my eyes out so they're looking that way.
Right on.
Yeah. Done a lot of drinking since I broke your heart. Done a lot of thinking since we've been apart. I just hope that you come back to me soon. 'Cause there's so many places we've still left to see. You know, give it all away if it meant it could be just you, your heart, and my heart, and me. And I know that I've been foolish, well, maybe one too many times. But if you let me just try, I'll put the light back in your life, and I'll make everything alright. If you let me just try, 'cause I've been there for you before, and I'll be there forevermore. If you let me just try, if you let me just try. And this bit here is the bit that's like going to be the Mr. Brightside bit, where we go like, try, 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 baby, try, try. You know the bit where everybody knows the words to. But it's just the same words, you know what I mean? It's just try, try, try. And yeah, I made the second verse is just basically loosely based around the same kind of whingy crack.
You mentioned obviously the trauma stuff.
Aye.
I want to get into it a little bit, mate,
Go on,
in terms of that, because I think to give people an understanding of like things you face when you say bad romance, you say certain things. Like, is there anything in particular that you can touch upon which has like shocked you as a person? You know what I mean? Where you think actually that gone through that experience has definitely damaged us in some way, or I've had to do some healing to get out of that, or anything like that.
I think to be honest, like once I knew I was coming to speak to you, I kind of had to like pick and choose kind of how I would word this one, you know, because it's quite sensitive and I didn't want to kind of get myself a little bit upset and wound up about it. But basically, when I was 2018, mate, and I bumped into someone. Now, I say I want to go too deep, but this lad kind of upset my family, kind of attacked someone in my family, and basically I assaulted him, and basically had a bit of an altercation with his family as well. And I ended up in court. I ended up all over the papers and that. And basically what I'd done that was like the main trigger for where all of my anxieties came from for the future. It was like I was worried that if I advertised the gig, either someone's going to turn up who was like knew that person and they're going to kind of get revenge, you know what I mean? And I'll get like some kind of repercussions for it. But then also at the same time, it was just like obviously the embarrassment, you know, like really embarrassed. Like I've been in the paper and that for giving someone a clip. And I was, I'm not gonna lie, mate, it was kind of embarrassing. And I was pretty anxious, like about to say about going doing gigs and that and getting back into the scene. They also slapped us with a pub watcher as well, so I couldn't gig in the town. I had to go to Newcastle and that. But no, mate, basically, it's not something I'm proud of, like, to be honest, but at the same time, it was my family. And at that time, I was obviously drinking a bit more than I am now. And on the exact moment, I had a few desperados, like when I'd seen the kid. So it was a clouded judgement. And that was, basically that one night just ruined me next, what's on now, 25? I'd say 6.5 years, because I'm starting to get on the right path now, the right trajectory towards, like I say, removing the anxieties and getting rid of all the things, because let's say there's not enough content out there. I just want to be playing all the time. I want to be performing all the time without needing to have 4 pints of Guinness and just sit there and enjoy it. So
Thing is, mate, I think now, like, I know we said this in the car coming across, mate, but like now it's an age where you've got to be on social, you've got to be doing these things, you've got to be promoting yourself, because labels are not just knocking on your door now. You know what I mean? You've got to do so much. You've got to be so much more proactive now than what you ever had been. You've almost got to be on E&R.
Well, it's because there's that many others as well, isn't there? Though there's so many. I mean, anyone now can pick up a little flashlight holder. Flashlight, I said there. Holder. Basically, get a guitar from Argos and sit there and listen to a couple of Ed Sheeran tunes. Blast it on social media. All it takes is one person to like it, and you've got to make sure that you're doing more than that person. And that's what I found. It's so saturated, man, at the minute. It's like you're looking and everybody's putting covers of different songs on. So I say that's probably also another reason why, like, I'd rather perform live. I'd rather play to someone who sat there in front of it, where I can just basically get you up dancing or get you singing along. I'll just have you sitting there enjoying yourself. Because so it's a lot better doing that than, well, this is what I've always thought anyway. It's a lot better doing that than putting it somewhere where someone can sit at home and be like, ah, that's nice, that. Because I live for getting the feedback from the crowd, you know what I mean?
The thing is, though, the more social stuff you can put, you can do it in bigger crowds, can't you?
This is the thing, isn't it? So, I mean, I've been quite old-fashioned in my views on it, you know, and like, see, it didn't help that I didn't really have the confidence to put stuff out there. But now, it's a case of I want to get as much as I can, so I don't know, maybe it's just a case of just starting to do it and just get there. And I mean, this was like the first real step, really, you know. It's like kind of a big thing, you know.
It's really nice to see, though, because, and again, I'll put the B-roll in so people can see, but when I filmed you the first time, and there's not a lot of footage of you online.
No.
But even when you watch that back, I literally, because I knew obviously you were coming on, I watched it yesterday about 10 times. And even when you're playing, you've got your head down. I don't know if you noticed, mate, and you look like you haven't got confidence. You look that way, and I'm thinking, like, it was mad, and I filmed like hundreds of musicians. So to see that, I was like, from someone with that much talent, it's mad.
That was my main criticism of that video of myself. Now, when you put it out, I was like, why is my head down? And I can't remember if I was like hanging on the day or something when you've come round.
You were the first time, like.
If I wasn't shorties, to be honest, I probably was like. But no, mate, that's probably the main reason. I was probably hiding my eyes and that, and just sat there with my head down. But like even now, I mean, it goes back to the Guinness, doesn't it? Well, even before the days of Guinness, when I was drinking coolers and that, it goes back. Like if I had a couple of pints, I'll have a look about, and I'll get people engaged in that and have a dance about. But if I do a gig stone cold sober, if I do, it'll be forced. It'll be really forced, and I'd much rather just sit with my head down and play and sing really well. You know what I mean? Which obviously it's someone I need to break. I need to get out of. I mean, probably should look into getting some kind of lessons, performing lessons.
Why do you think you need to kind of get into that though? Like, why do you have to perform sober if it's your style? Have a couple of Guinness and
it just goes back. Like, a couple turns into a couple more, isn't it? It's one of those, and then you have a couple more, and then you end up in town, and that's it.
Do you think you've got a problem with drink?
I don't. I do in the way that if I have maybe 3 pints, no, let's say 4 actually, because I did recently have 3 pints and go home. If I have more than 3 pints, there's a good chance I'm going to have another 3 or 4 more. And then I'll only stop if I get really tired. Like, to be fair, and then it turns into like 4, 5, 6 hours of my day wasted, waking up with a banging headache and that. But I mean, the kitchen parties are long gone them days. Like, I was just saying here for Taylor, I couldn't imagine myself stood talking beans in someone's kitchen till after 3 o'clock in the morning anymore. It's always like, you look at your phone now at 33 years old, or you look at your watch and you're like, it's time for bed. It's time for bed and it's reasonable, you know what I mean?
I know off that accident you had, Lloyd, sorry to cut you off there.
No, it's right, mate.
You started having seizures, didn't you?
It wasn't the moped accident.
Oh, was it not?
No, mate. So I was in a bar in town, and I basically had done musical theatre, and obviously tremendous dancer. I'd done a pirouette, absolutely thick of vodka, and when I've landed on a wet patch on the floor, and I've just kind of gained velocity and headbutted a whiskey barrel, which was used like as a table. So imagine the metals just kind of split my head open, and it was like a big open triangle in my forehead, so you'd say my skull. So it kind of rushed us out, got us stitched straight up in the hospital. And about a week later or so, I just found myself convulsing because I was laughing too hard. And that went on for maybe a year. even like I say, even still now, sometimes I get like little feelings. So what happened was, if I laughed too hard, or I looked it up, and basically the symptoms were all exactly what happened to me. If I laughed too hard, I got too over emotional about anything. So I got over heightened emotions. Like my muscles would spasm up, and my legs would kick out. And if I was laughing, wouldn't be able to stop laughing. I would just hysterically, like my diaphragm, I'd lose control of my diaphragm. So I'd be like, until it resided. But maybe 3 months or 4 months in, it was a case of I started to kind of get the signs when it was going to happen. So I was like, right, and I just kind of like breathe and calm myself down and get myself out of it. Every now and again, I would still have one, and like I say, then just kept getting more and more sporadic. So I was like, right, we should be on the mend. And then, thankfully, by the time the doctors got us in for a scan, it was pretty much fixed itself. There was nothing to show on the reports or anything. I was like, that was a waste.
So did you not medicate or out? Was there nothing? You were literally just living through it.
Just a few funny tabs every now and again, mate. That was so if I felt myself getting too excited and that, I would self-medicate. But no, it was just a case of just kind of trying to keep myself calm and keep myself out of situations. But like I say, outside of these like kind of scenarios, I'm pretty funny. So I'll have funny people around us and we have funny conversations. And during that time, I was just constantly just laughing my head off with my friends. And then next thing you know, I'm having a seizure in the car. And it was all fun and games. I'll put this down a second. It was all fun and games until it happened when I was coming down the stairs. So I wasn't going to get it seen to until I was coming down the stairs one day, and it happened. And I slid a few steps on my arse, and I was like, if that was like some big stairs or it was in a big multi-storey car park, that wouldn't have been funny, that. Or if it happens when I'm crossing the road. So I was like, yeah, best get this seen. It was a matter of urgency. But my urgency was obviously greater than theirs, and by the time they saw us, I was all right.
So you never found out why you get them? Like, you didn't know?
No, so the general consensus is it was basically like a long concussion. So it was just because of the blunt force trauma to the head has kind of just knocked me brain, for the want of a science term. And obviously over time it just healed itself and just got better. But that year was pretty brutal. Like it was a big blow at the head. I was sat with food and vegetables just on my head for about a week or so, just lying there, and couldn't stand up for about a week as well because I just felt like really lightheaded and like I was going to fall.
Because I've seen you over the years, like kicking about and that, and you look like you've always had the odd scrapes here and there. And how do you get in? Are you just getting involved in fights and that, or is it like what's going on?
No, mate. So basically, I've had a few fights over the years, but no major on that. And I'm not a hard case. I get knocked most of the time, to be honest. But it goes back to like just me. My anxiety causes to have a few pints, as I've said before. And what happens is, I have another few pints, and then I'll just be cheeky. Something will come out my mouth before I've even thought about what I've said. And I've just had loads of punches to the face for stuff I've said to people, mate. It's
What type of stuff do you come up with?
So, I mean, how PG are you? Just
say whatever you want, mate.
So I'll just revert. I whistled there, got me false teeth in, you see. So I was in Cyprus playing me residency over there, and to be fair as well, I feel really bad now. He was an elderly bloke and all, but he was young enough to set his lip up. No, so basically I'm stood there performing and I'm doing my thing, and he comes over and he says, "Can you just get off and get the band on? Because otherwise we'll leave." And like I say, going back to that story about where I jumped off the stage and give out that clip. It was just really upset us. But on this day, we were drinking Guinness, mate. We were drinking strong German beer because it was the Oktoberfest. And I basically told this elderly gentleman to pull his foreskin over his head and piss until he drowned. So I was frowned upon, but I didn't realise at the time as well. My mic was connected to the full pub.
Was it really?
The whole entire pub inside speakers, so they couldn't hear what was going on other than, so they didn't hear the exchange. They just heard me say that. So yeah, I got a bit of a telling for that, like. But he was laughing at the same time, the gaffer. So it was funny. But
did it end in a frisk or not?
No, mate. He was way too old. This man was just old, and every stage was a good 7-8 foot in the air, so it was always just verbals.
You know, when you were younger, did you have support for you, like, doing this? Because, like, again, like, for me, I mean, I don't know what your family's like, but it's almost like you've got it and you get support, or they're just like I know you said, like, your stepdad or whatever was having a bit of a, like, your shite and all that. Did you get support as people start to realise, look, you've got a voice, you can do this?
I was so, like, all my mates and everybody, like, who seen us once they seen us once, they say us the next time, I was like, he's all right. So they come to my next gigs, and I had a few mates who would follow us about for years and just come to all my gigs and support us that way for years. And, like, I mean, things like when I've went up and done auditions for things, like, my ma's came up and my pals have came up and supported us, and I've never been short. That's one thing I've never been short of, actually, short of support, which is supporting me. It's even more bizarre as to why, obviously, I've got all the anxiety, but it's just one of those things, and it's just until I find out, well, until I do it, obviously, I don't know what I'm worrying about. It's one of those.
What do you think of all these platforms and that, like Britain's Got Talent, X Factor, and all these?
Absolutely load of poo, mate. I think they're good for what they are. As in, like, so they do give people a good opportunity to get to where they want to be. But for me, it's not really my cup of tea. I mean, they did ask me to go on Britain's Got Talent. It was maybe, I'm going to take a stab in the dark and say maybe about 2016, 2017. Maybe that time, actually. And funnily enough, I think it might have been off the back of your videos that you did, like the when we done that Drops to Jupiter. And so a scout got in touch and said, would you like to come on Britain's Got Talent? You wouldn't have to do any of the queuing up and all that malarkey. And I was like, I go on then. So I got like a booked appointment time to go and do me singing in front of the producers. And it was like apparently the last one before the judges. So I went and sang. For the life of us, I couldn't tell you what I sang, to be honest. I've had that many blows to the head since. But I know I did all right because everyone was clapping outside the audition room. So I kind of went home. It was up Edinburgh. So we went home and waited for the news. Got a phone call a few days later saying, "Hi Lloyd, we loved you. But we've got too many acoustic guitarists for Britain's Got Talent this year. Do you want to come down next year? Or was it in a few months? Or just on the next X Factor?" And I've never liked the X Factor. Like, I've always been of the belief that if I got on the X Factor and I got, like, voted off for someone like Honey G, I'd be livid. I would be absolutely furious. I should probably agree with you. Like, it'd be a farce.
The thing is, mate, what I can say, I reckon, and I'm not just saying this, mate, right? Again, because of all the musicians I've met, there's people who have got far less talent who've done massive things, mate. And
100%.
That's what's infuriating sometimes. And again, I'm not just saying it because you're a lad from Sunderland. I'm not saying it because you're me, mate. It's because of the talent you've got. And if you dial it down and you just put I know what you like. I know you just gone off on the rails and do your thing and do your gigging, and then the next thing you know, you're not coming home. But if you just dial it in, mate, apply yourself to some social media, be consistent. Mm-hmm. There's every chance in the world that you wouldn't be having this conversation now. You'd be on a bigger platform, somewhere even bigger. Like,
well, this is kind of like why we're here, isn't it? Because I realised this, and, like, obviously since I come back from obviously where I've been away last year and coming back with obviously my legs still a bit snapped and just limping about, feeling sorry for myself, I was like, I think I should definitely have a go at it. I definitely need to, because obviously I've just nearly snuffed it, you know what I mean? So if I went my entire life and didn't record anything, even if it's just one album, mate, you know what I mean, and put it out there and try and do something, then it'd be an absolute joke, wouldn't it? Like, so, honest.
Well, this is why I was saying in the car on the way again, mate, like, this is why I do the podcast. Like, there's all these conversations which are there forever. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So even if you just record something, it's there, it's in the ether. Doesn't matter.
And you've always got it for people to look at, haven't you? So I was like, yeah, so look, that's me. That's the time I was doing that.
But Lloyd, what I'm gonna do is what I think, because I still know a few people in music and stuff.
Aye.
I think to finish this off, obviously you've got a solo stuff, you're writing things, you want to record stuff this year. I reckon we'll finish it off. Any tune you want, whatever you want to do, absolutely gun for it. I feel like Simon Cowell here.
Oh, well then.
But just finish it up with a tune, mate, because I feel like this is worthy of doing some kind of part 2 down the line, but I want to see you get to that stage because I know you can do it.
It's like a bit of an incentive, innit, just for us to pull my finger out.
Just something, mate.
Do you know what, mate? I put how much focus and attention into my regular gigs I've got now, which is like, it's just like I say, it's just been class. I just loved it. I've loved every minute of, because when I've been over there playing every day, it was every day of the week. I was over there playing, and it was like, when I come back to the UK, I didn't want to be just doing a bog standard job. I've literally been Lloyd the Voice Joyce for months, and people's coming dancing and loving me music, so I want to do that. So like I say, when I come back, I was just like, right, I just want a gig. And that's, maybe I should have used the time where I was sat there when we got me a leg. I should have used that time to maybe start polishing up my tunes. But like I say, they'll not need much. It's a case of just sitting there, giving it a few hours, and then a few months' time, we've got some freshly made tunes.
And mate, there's no job in the world that's going to get you the feeling that this does. So to not be able to date to more people, you just doing yourself a disservice.
Yeah, mate, you know what it is, you bang on, like, because that's literally the best thing about it. I can literally pick up that guitar, well, any time of day within reason, and like your neighbours and that, but any time of day I pick that guitar up and I can be sound. Doesn't matter what's going on, I can be sound. Do everything else in a bit, you know what I mean?
Do you busk and all, or would you busk? Like just stop in the middle of a street and just go for it?
So when I was with Plectrum Inc., we used to, we had a battery powered PA system, so we did it once or twice, I reckon we'll say. I can't remember exactly how many times, but because I was with the band, and obviously we had the beatboxer and I was hardly the centre of attention, I was sound like, I was like, right, we'll do that. We had the tunnel at W.H. Smith's, like, kind of blocked off with people, remember? Right. But then, Darlington Council I did some gigs for, and that was busking, and the providers were all the stuff, and I went and done it. And mate, I was absolutely petrified, like. I was like, even though I was in Darlington, I didn't know anybody from Darlington, I was like, what am I doing here? I stood in the street playing guitar, people was like cheering as they walked past, and I'm like, fuck. Hated it, mate.
Did the crowd round and that and all that type of stuff?
Not so much. I mean, a few people came over and like, I had my guitar case there, but I was getting paid off the council anyway, so I didn't want the money. But people, I think about 20 quid or something. But it was mad, like. But no, it's not something I don't think I'd ever comfortably do, like.
Because I can put my life on it, mate. Again, and I don't know if it's your style, and if it's not, you didn't like you. But if you're stopping in some busy areas, mate, you're gonna get. And again, that type of content just goes nuts anyway.
Aye, well, this is the thing. When I was in Serbia for a bit, I was meant to busk over there, but I didn't get round to it because basically they love loads of different music to us, mate. So you couldn't go over to Serbia and blast a couple of Ed Sheeran tunes out or Jerry Cinnamon. Probably could now, like. But no, they try, like, they love the punk and they love all that, the punk rock and that, and Sex Pistols, all that kind of stuff. So unless you're going to do that on the streets, like, you're knackered. So no, I was meant to do it, and like I say, I had my guitar ready, and I see this guitar you had it there, ready to go, and I was like, I can't do it. So I'd done like 3 gigs when I was there, for the month I was there. I'd done 3 gigs, and there was one that was off all right, but I ended up drinking this Serbian drink called rakia, which...
Is it like vodka, that?
No, mate, so it's a plum extract. And basically they drink it, well, most of them drink it for breakfast before they go to work and that, get in the cars. And it's meant to heal everything. They give it the bands when they've got the flu and that. So I had about 8 or 9 of these, and I couldn't remember the second half, like. So I apologised, and I didn't get invited back. So that's all good though, mate.
But like I say, I want to, like, again, and you can have this as just a clip, whatever you want to do, if you want to send it to people, whatever.
Yeah.
Just, we've got all this equipment, we've got all the cameras, we've got everything going. If you want to play out to finish us off, that would be class. But what I will say is beforehand, I want to say thank you so much for coming on, mate.
Do you know what, mate? It's been an absolute pleasure. And for the first maybe 80% of it, I was absolutely picking it. But now I could probably just do another hour.
See, that's what I mean, and that's why I know that when you get to that point, mate, as well, I want to get, because I know you'll get there, but you've got to do it.
Like I said, this is kind of like being a big catalyst to do more. Because like I say, I just need to sit there, get my tunes in order, get myself on order, pick my socials up a bit, and I will hopefully do really big things. But for now, I've just got to just tell everyone about St. Patrick's Day shenanigans, you know what I mean? Because come down to these things happen. Because I thought I'd selflessly promote at the end.
Gone for me.
Full weekend of St. Patrick's Day shenanigans. So games. I'm going to be dressed up like a leprechaun, like a mug.
Oh yeah, actually.
They've got a costume ordered today. And just going to play some tunes. There's Irish dancers on, face painters on, Irish scran on. Just loads of potatoes and that. It's Irish stuff. That's
So if you're in the Sunderland area, these things happen in Sun. It's Roker, innit?
So it's Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, mate. It's 3 days of shenanigans. Right?
Unbelievable.
It's gonna be good crack, like.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lloyd Joyce.
So, I think anyone as well, anybody who knows us will probably guess what this is going to be straight away. It's the first song I play at every gig, just about. Here we go. I was scared of dentists in the dark. I was scared of pretty girls and starting conversations. All my friends are turning green. You're the magician's assistant in their dreams. Ooh, ooh, and they come unstuck. Lady, running down to the riptide, taking away to the dark side. I wanna be your left-hand man. I love you when you're singing that song, and I got a lump in my throat, 'cause you're gonna sing the words wrong. There's this movie that I think you'd like. This guy decides to quit his job and he heads to New York City. This cowboy is running from himself. She's been living on the high shelf. Ooh, ooh, and they come unstuck. Lady, running down to the riptide, taking away to the dark side. I wanna be your left-hand man. I love you when you're singing that song, and I got a lump in my throat, 'cause you're gonna sing the words wrong. It'll be fine by dustlight, I'm telling you, baby. These things eat at your bones and drive your young mind crazy. But when you place your head between my collar and jaw, I don't know much, but there's no weight at all. And I'm damned if I do, and I'm damned if I don't. 'Cause if I say I miss you, I know that you won't. And I miss you in the mornings when I see the sun. Something in the orange tells me we're not done. To you I'm just a man, to me you're all I am. Where the hell am I supposed to go? Poison myself again, something in the orange tells me you're never coming home. How I need to hear you say you've been waiting all night. There's orange dancing in your eyes from bulb light, and your voice only trembles when you try to speak. Take me back to us dancing this wood used to creak. To you I'm just a man, to me you're all I am. Where the hell am I supposed to go? I poison myself against something in the orange tells me you're never coming home. If you leave today, I'll just stare at the way the orange touches all things around. The grass, trees, and you, how I just hate you. Please turn those headlights around.
So if you've enjoyed this conversation and you like things like this, make sure you click up there and watch this episode.